always sing, on the way there, over the river, we go. Every time. It was so much fun. They always knew how to have a good time, have fun. And usually we always had Bible time and stories. That was very important to them. And lots of everything.
She had too much in her car.
I really, the last few years have been so good for me and my mom. Working together and being together. And it was very good, enjoyable time together, playing cards. She was a pretty choreographed to follow when I got married because she always made things look so easy. Taking care of kids. Every time I said, Mom, I'm thirsty. I'd be in bed, tucked in bed. I said, Mom, I'm thirsty. She'd get up, come and give me a drink of water. I had kids and he said, Mom, I'm thirsty. And I would say, really? It seemed like there was always clothes in my drawer and all both nice and when I had kids, how did my mom do it? It wasn't magic for me. But it was a good family we had. A lot of good memories. We always had meals together. Every breakfast. Before we went on the bus. Mom would make us breakfast. We had to leave at 7:30 in the morning. She always was ready. She always moved. We did the chores, we got the animals all taken care of, and Mom always had breakfast on the table. We always were taken care of. She was amazing. And then when we went to junior high, I was in junior high, and they saw a real big need for a Christian school. And so, they were pretty amazing. They just started one themselves. They saw the need and they just started one. My dad was the principal assistant, and my brother-in-law got to be the principal.
School was okay, just the principal of the thing.
And my sister got to be a teacher. Both of my sisters. Jan got to be a kindergarten teacher. And my sister Carol got to teach too. And then I got roped in sometimes to be a substitute. It's pretty fun teaching. It was wonderful being in that little oasis. Protected from the world and that really nice school that I really enjoyed. All the memories of Pastor Onstad, all the teaching and learning. So many things that I recall now because Rwanda, memory verses that we learned, and all the lessons that they taught us. Every day, most every day, maybe once, maybe twice, not, but we had devotions all the time, every day. And it was always usually my daily bread. And it was amazing how we would do the devotions and the storyline would go right along with what happened that day. How does it happen? It's only God. And then this last week, God is amazing. He just makes everything happen. Like this week. My mom, we had planned on, we didn't know what we were going to do. And God took over. And she never had to go to a nursing home. She never had to suffer. That was a really blessing. I'm so thankful for that. That was he was very kind, merciful, and there was no suffering there. There was just peace. And I want to be like my mom. She's amazing. With God's help, I can.
If you started. Memories. I was thinking of several things. I came to Rapid City, South Dakota in 1973 as a young single airman at the Air Base. All kinds of strange things happened before I got here. I met a guy in Thailand who his big thing was the King James Version of the Bible, and his big thing was going to get involved in an independent Baptist church when he gets back to the States. And he was, I guess, I don't know, I might be an idol worshiper, but anyway, Jim played football really good, and I always picked somebody to look up to, someone I guess maybe I'm a follower or whatever. But anyway, the stuff he said to me, stuck in my heart. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, and my dad was a Southern Baptist pastor, and I never even knew there was any such thing as an independent Baptist church. But Jim Sisson put that in my head, and so when I got stateside, I was going to do like my hero. I'm going to find an independent Baptist church and get involved. Because I had made a decision to follow Jesus Christ about a year earlier. And went to Thailand. I learned about the local church and how important it is. And little by little, I was learning, and I came to Rapid City, and it was kind of fun. I think in my life I had never really made a lot of initiative to do things. But this time I took initiative because I was going to find an independent Baptist church. So I visited Tabernacle Baptist Church, and Pastor Yonker, some of you remember Pastor Yonker. And so I visited that one the first night, and then I met Tom Nearing in the chow hall. He said, "You gotta come to Bethel Baptist Church." So I went there with him on a Sunday night. And the very first night I went there, I met her. He was just a baby, though. We were friends at first. And so, coming there and starting to learn from Pastor Armstrong, learned a lot of things from him, be grounded, be in the Word. And, when I finally had the courage to take the initiative again, because I was shy and bashful on girls, but I took another initiative to meet Cheryl, and thereby meeting her family. And so our relationship ensued, and one of the things I remember is Cheryl and I had a fight about something, and I took her home, and then I went back to town, and somehow the fight we had was really hurting my heart, and I knew I hurt her, and so I was all, this will make you sick, guys, but I was all weepy and upset, and I think it might have been 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I drove back out there to Sheridan Lake Road, because I was going to apologize to Cheryl. And Cheryl's she turned into a pumpkin after 9 o'clock. She's a bad at 9. She's a pumpkin. And she really hates me and woke her up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But one of the things I remember is that I drove all the way out there, and I was all red-eyed, and when I cried, there was a little red flake on my forehead. And I must have looked like a sight, but I remember coming to the bottom door and knocking on the door, and Bunny met me there. And he saw me there, this big baby. And she had this tender love right away. She just felt sorry for me, and she reached out and gave me a hug. And they actually like walked, didn't chase me away. You're crazy, get out of here. What I might have done. But went up in the living room, and they got Cheryl. She came out and said, "You don't even remember her."
She was asleep.
On my toes. And she came out to the living room, and I told her, "Oh, I'm sorry." Big sorry thing. But anyway, that's one of the memories I have of how funny. The other thing, I remember, I was going to share this, I plan on sharing this, was I was that young airman, you know, and I was bashing it there at 1018 Fairview. Some of you here got to live there too. But I was going to learn how to make cabbage soup. And Cheryl's mom told me about cabbage soup. And so I'm at home trying to make cabbage soup. And I forgot whatever, but I remember calling her on the phone and her giving me coaching of how to make cabbage soup. And that was a good memory. Good. She gave me the instructions on the phone about making cabbage soup. And there's many other things too. They had to work. Done my time. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful thing to be in the Frank family and all the blessings that God has given over the years. I don't know if you ever noticed it before. I'm almost afraid to mention it, but I noticed it in my own family. Of the family, my dad was the first one to go. I mean, there's a lot. I work with missions, and there's people that have, of course, stories of losing brothers and sisters, and you know, God has blessed our home, and I think that's one thing that we all need to take track of. That God has blessed us. God has taken care of us. And a lot of it has to do with the prayers of Alan and Bunny. And they live on. And now it's our turn. Now Buddy's not here anymore, so our prayer power's got to go up. Our prayer power's got to go up a notch. And in my own home, I was able to attend my mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary. I was able to attend Cheryl's mom and dad's 50th wedding anniversary. And those are blessings. And you know, you can go the wrong way with that. You get pride, and that kind of destroys it all. But when you think about God, it's something that God has done. And then you don't ruin it, you know, by pride. I used to have a thing in the radio station. They have a little, I'm a personality. I used to have a little blurb in there, and I talked about my family and my son Jim, his wife and family. And after I got to look at it one time, I thought, boy, this is pride here. So I changed it. It's not there anymore like that, but it was pride. And this is, you know, God blesses, and it's kind of like the way God blesses, it's subtle. It's kind of subtle how God blesses, and you don't notice it. But in our family, I'll get to the point. The point is Al was the first to go in our family line. I mean, from this side, all of us children. You know, your kids, our kids, we're still here. We're surviving. In fact, we're multiplying. And take note of that. Take note of that. It's a blessing from God. And Him only. And once you start recognizing that, it just changes your outlook about it. What am I noticing?